Time has gone because the African Liberation Day, those days, you would sit outside, the corridor would be full, because this was the University of Nairobi. The only university that there was no. Today, there are so many seats, and still Ufungamano House is in the same geographical location. What is the statement? The issue is times have changed. When we had that day here, the student leadership and our guests would pass through that door because there would be no space, Mandawero is my witness, on any of the stairs. I'm happy to say that we are here, the few of us. For me, a homecoming. But my last day here was Savimbi, not Savimbi, but Samora Machel. We had Mugabe. And today we are here. And South Africa is free. Through SWAPO and Kuito Konabale, the big war waged by our brothers and sisters from Cuba, Namibia is free. And a lot of you, students of history, may not know there wasn't going to be any liberation of South Africa without Kuito Konabale. South Africa would not have been liberated without the Cuban brothers and sisters assisting our Namibian brothers and waging a war. In Quito, which war led to plain loads. I don't like anybody dead, but quite a few bags went into South Africa. These young people had been told, those people don't know how to shoot straight. They don't know anything about the gun. But when they head to Quito, a lot of apartheid soldiers, some of them young people who did not know anything, were killed. The South African people said, you cheated us, both of them. You told us that these Africans, these Kaffers do not know how to shoot. How come we are receiving very many bodies of our children? And that was the end of apartheid. So you don't know, the liberation of South Africa, the liberation of small Namibia, is what led to the liberation of the biggest economy in the African continent. Because South Africans knew after Quito, the next place was going to be Johannesburg. And before we get to Johannesburg, they decided, let us agree to this, because we can't sustain the number of our bodies that we are getting. I want to say one sentence. One thing that you might have to ask yourselves, if they are students of history, why did the Tongogara in Zimbabwe die driving from Maputo to Zimbabwe after liberation? Tongogara was the head of the Liberation Army of Zimbabwe. Chitepu, who we hosted here, whose daughters were with me in this great university, died just before. Agostino Neto, just before. Amioka Cabro, just before. Our brother and comrade, just after, in Buzini, Samora Machel. So, I could go on and on. Where do you think our own Mamao commander, died just before? Because all these people could not be trusted. Chris Hani died about 2 kilometers from where I was staying in South Africa. I was lucky to have been one of the people who are working with the African election team that will participate in their first election. And I remember it was a Sunday, and we had been very late with our comrade from the ANC, working on campaign strategy. And so this particular Sunday, I went for a job. I wasn't always like this. And coming back, there was this news. I remember it was so bad that my employer, the UN, decided that I should fly out to Maputo because of the aftermath. And I went to now Oliver Tambo Airport. I had a South African Airways ticket, and I was told, go in your plane. It's called Lambda. I don't speak Portuguese, the Portuguese airline. South African Airways would not touch me, but I had their ticket. So Africa's come a long way. The issue is, what has happened to the African daughters and sons? If in oppressive and dark days, 70, 78, 79, 80, a day like this could only be done in Taipaho, and even then it will be very full. Today, I can count the heads. Something wrong. There is something seriously wrong. It means the Pan-Africanists are not reproducing themselves. My brother here, Koigi, was with me in exile. I did not go to Europe, but I was in Zimbabwe, I was in Tanzania. After the big dispersal in Tanzania, when a few of our brothers then, comrades, were returned to Kenya and others returned from here, I went to Zimbabwe. My brother Koigi was to join us later and got to know him. And under very difficult circumstances, Koigi, ourselves, we were quite many, and some of the names, if I mentioned them, your mouths would open. But I don't want to be sued. These were comrades. And today, they'll make sure that there's enough supply of tear gas when you try to go to the streets. They were with us those days. I don't want to say much, and I was not asked to say anything actually. I was just coming to participate in this process. But one thing that I would like to say to my brothers and sisters is that Africa has to get its act together. When you talk about Pan-Africanism and the African Union that was very ably created to unite and liberate Africa, we get excited. I don't get excited about going to the African Union because of my jobs. I've done very many jobs. I've attended the African Union many times. I've attended IGAD, I've attended COMESA, East African Community, SADC meetings all over, ECOWAS. The biggest problem we have is that we have the African Union, which locks out the donors, like they did yesterday, supposedly to discuss internal matters. But if you analyze those who are there, 40% of them will have had their tickets and per diems paid by the same people they're locking out. So they'll be making sure that virtually those who are paid are actually in the meeting. One of the visions of the African Union is that Africa should unite, and that its unity would come through the regional economic blocks. East African Community, COMESA, SADC, Maghreb, ECOWAS. But strangely enough, and as I said, I've had occasion and privilege to work with all these institutions. All of them have one agenda: market. They are all craving for a market, not political unity. Why market? Because you are able to create peace and stability for the movement of goods and services. That's why you talk about East African Community, the biggest funding is the roots. This is like a slave trade. Slave trade control and ivory trade, the control was for the roots. Right now, the big in thing is, can we get a railway from Cape Town working up to Cairo? Because that way you can sell your kimbo from Cape Town and your home from Cape Town all the way to Cairo. And everything is okay. So, I don't know, with these empty seats, with the push being a push for a market, not political federation, not political unity. Even parliaments have been created to promote market. One sits in Johannesburg, Pan-African Parliament. I've been there. Another one sits not very far from here, Arusha, to create a market. That's why I agree with my friend and brother Alo. These things are good. And who is funding these markets then? I don't know. When I go to Angola, I don't hear much from the Angolans about Quito. And whether you go to Luanda or Quito, nobody's talking about Quito or Navarre. They have completely changed and are voting facing a different direction. They don't remember how many of our brothers and sisters, our comrades from Cuba, lost their lives to liberate Angola. Those are the issues. I am not a big person, as you heard. I'm just a member of parliament, representing my constituency, which is very poor because we are not a market for anything. So we don't have roads, we don't have water, because if we had a market or we were exporting something, then we would be developed, but we don't have anything. So I have a poor constituency to develop right now. My assurance to you, brothers and sisters, is I spent 14 years in exile. I did not think about time because it's only when I got here I realized the last time I was in Fungamano, what I do because I have children, 2 of them, and I want them to live in a freer Kenya and a freer world than I found. Mandawiro will tell you. We were beaten and hounded out of this country to exile because we opposed him, one-party state and dictatorship. We have to make sure that this stone that we have rolled up to a point does not roll back, because Mandawiro and I may not have the strength to hold it, even where it is. It requires able people like yourselves to basically hold it there and, if possible, push it high. People have suffered, and I believe one thing that you do not know, a lot of you had a lot of fantasies about those who were doing it. I remember being with Olo in Toronto, and I'm sure people in Olo's village must have thought Olo had gone Ulaya and is in North America and enjoying himself. Olo was not enjoying himself. I was a poor refugee, but by good luck, or rather hard work, I had managed to get a job that made it possible for me to do all these things. We need people who can sacrifice. There's a lot of liberty. Those days to meet even here, you needed a permit. Now there's no permit required, but the seats are empty. That's the heaven. So anyway, I won't say more than that. All that I will say is, my brothers and sisters, I'm in parliament. For those who are worried that I was going to step down, Munube only steps up. I will